Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike here, and a little bit of a different video today. I mentioned in the last video, detach from your pain is what it's called. If you want to go watch that video before continuing, or after this video, go ahead and plug up to that one, because that one's very similar. That one's sort of the premise upon what we're building on here in the illustrations that you are about to see. So just a quick message: I'm sending you all love, peace, prosperity, gratitude, grateful heart. You know, take time today and every single day. That's just be the first thing that we do whenever we get up, is to really feel grateful for something. Go back to a memory and take some pressure off of yourself and realize that the universe is for you. It has your back. The universe is in your corner. Your inner being is trying its best. It's just, you got to plug up to that inner being, baby. Like you have to, and that's so hard whenever we're not seeing the results that we want to in life. But I do believe that's a great secret of the universe. Practice gratitude, absolutely. But we're getting into this video, and just remember to rewatch some of the illustrations. I will be releasing another similar video, and it's actually going over how to become more present and how to practice presence and how to shift the consciousness from our overthinking, analyzing brain into our non-thought, into our, this could be whatever we want it to be. So just remember that while you're going through this, to take some notes. If you have to, actually draw the drawings that are on there or print them out. Find a way to organize the information in a way that works for you. So I'm not going to go on too much longer, but pay attention, and I really hope that this helps. This is going to help you detach from your problems. It's going to help you, and I really hope it does. And it gives you a drawing to actually see what Eckhart Tolle is talking about, getting into the present moment. How do we picture actually going about detaching from pain? And I do believe that this is how we attain the power of now, the power of the present moment, and to really transform our lives for the better. So remember the gratitude for sure, but pay attention, and here they are. All right, so we're going to begin this drawing with a rather large size greater than sign. Now I'm going to differentiate the colors on here, but I'm making the greater than sign red, and as you see now I am making the less than sign, and we're connecting them, and they quite literally intersect. And I'm drawing, I already drew that with blue there, but the intersecting point here is actually, it represents the present moment. Now, we're talking about taking control of our consciousness. And the blue here represents the positive, and the red will represent the negative. We always have polar opposites of the same thing. And as I believe mentioned, this represents the mind. This is one picture of the mind. This is one way to look at it. And here on the right side, we have what is, or what are rather, positive thoughts of consciousness. And over on the left side, of course, the polar opposite would be negative thoughts. So we have our negative thoughts, our positive thoughts, and the present moment. So as we begin thinking positive thoughts, that momentum, what we refer to as momentum, actually creates an acceleration.
But if you noticed, everything begins and everything did begin in the present moment. Now, follow me here. So on the left side, again, the more negative thoughts you think, this is very basic, the more momentum you're going to build from those negative thoughts. And all is created within that center point, which is the present moment. And that's what intersects. That's actually what makes it possible, that point of nothingness. Without that point of nothingness, we also call this awareness of self, or a state of being. This is how we take control of our minds. So take control of your mind through conscious thinking, or conscious thought, or conscious awareness. Now, as I stated, everything begins and starts in the present moment. As we give energy to our problems, it creates that negative momentum, as you can see, and the energetic shift becomes even stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until that forms what we refer to as an identity. Now, as we think positive thoughts and we build those positive momentums, we actually create a positive state of being, and that perpetuates through acceleration of momentum. But everything begins in the present moment. So if you are stuck and you are ruminating and you are in a very negative pattern of thought and habit, and you want to move over to the other side of the positive thoughts and build momentum on the positive side, you must first enter through the narrow gate. And the narrow gate in Scripture, they talk about the narrow gate. Well, the narrow gate is illustrated here using the present moment. So you can't jump from extremely positive thoughts just right away. You have to pass through a moment, an open window, if you will, of conscious thinking that represents that present moment in the center, where the two states of being and the states of identity begin to manifest and form personalities. Now, in this drawing, we are looking at the personalities, and we're actually focusing on the negative side of the identities that we create that we can escape at any time. So again, this is a picture of the mind, just a different illustration of the mind. So what happens is, well, first off, the center point there is actually the present moment. Once again, this is just a different way of looking at the mind and explaining how we get so trapped in our way of thinking, right? Because we build this identity. And that's what we're about to show you. So the present moment, or the state of being as we call it, or even greater, is awareness. You're becoming aware of yourself. That's why we're actually illustrating what's going on here now. So we create these red circles represent identities. So we have traumas, we have pain, and we have so much that builds up momentum, like we saw in the previous illustration, and it builds up so much. What happens whenever you build up enough pain and enough resentment and enough hate, it actually, it's kind of scary, but it actually becomes an identity. So we actually believe that the pain is us, but the pain is not us. The pain is an aspect of us that is absent of the present moment, because whenever you're truly present, the pain might exist on a very subconscious level. But whenever you're truly present, the subconscious and conscious actually merge. So you are in a state of wholeness. And in Scripture, there are many references to this. So take control of your mind. And once again, this is a conscious thought. This is called conscious thinking. And we do this through conscious thinking. So you are not your pain. You are not your traumas. These are identities that you created through the acceleration of that negative momentum. But I want you to note here that your pain is not your identity. So how then do we become more present? And within that beam of consciousness there, how do we get back to that? Well, you become present. And the moment that you quit identifying with that pain, you actually halt the suffering. And by the way, a lot of resistance, whenever you actually try this in consciousness form and in real time, don't be surprised if a lot of resistance shows up, because the pain and the traumas are going to try to grip back on and take the reins of their identity. But as long as you are holding your will with your conscious thought, you take control of your mind, and you're in the driver's seat now. So you don't have to identify with the pain, with the hurt, with the trouble. And although these things are very real and they actually happen, we can't control what happened, but we can enter through that narrow gate, which is awareness of the pain. And we do not have to identify with it, because your pain is not your identity. So you enter the present moment by entering a state of being. And in the next couple videos, we're going to go through some techniques that I've used and techniques that you can use to actually, gain access to the narrow gate, which is the present moment. How do we actually enter through that present moment, like in a state of consciousness? It's easier said and spoken than done, but these illustrations, I hope they really helped. I'll see you in the next few videos, and remember to take control of your mind. Your pain does not have to define who you are, because it is not who you are. It's who you think you are, and it's not. So in a state of wholeness and completion, that's really where it all begins, within the present moment. So I hope these illustrations helped. Catch me in the next couple videos. Stay tuned for more explanations on these concepts that I discovered. So I wish you all well, sending you love, happiness, joy, abundance, fulfillment, and freedom from your traumas.